Hello and a very, very good morning to everybody. It's a very pleasant day on the 1st of June, and the new terms will start across everywhere. All the academic institutions becoming live within the next 15 to 20 days. And it's a pleasure to be introducing to you people the new and innovative management program that we are starting off at the CVM University, the Charutar Vidya Mandal University at Vallavidyanagar. Everybody knows the legacy and heritage of the institution, which doesn't need to be spoken about. Starting along with the Indian independence, it has evolved and contributed tremendously into the development of education in the state of Gujarat and the Western Indian subcontinent, I would say. Uh, Let me share with you the PowerPoint so that we can initiate the formal introduction of the program and take it forward from there. So, the CVMU MBA program. And why do I call it a learning oriented program? Because traditionally, since centuries, the Indian and the Indian subcontinent teaching learning methodologies have focused on the teaching component. It is the guru, the teacher, who is a learned person, and he knows what is best for the students to learn. And he will deliver that to the best of his abilities and capabilities. Times change, things change in life, life change. And that is where we believe that there is a new call of the day with technology, internet, the web. Such a lot of learning opportunities are already readily available to potential learner. And that is where the entire focus of the programs that we offer should now be focused on the learner rather than the teacher. The teacher definitely remains a very, very important component of the entire matrix, and he definitely delivers the right kind of mentoring to the participants of programs. To add to this, we have also now the new education policy, which provides a lot of liberal approaches to the teaching learning methodologies and approaches. So, with this background, I would like to call my program a learning oriented program where there will be a lot of learning happening. And as we go ahead, I will elaborate why do I say whatever I say. So, the new MBA program falls under the Faculty of Commerce, Management and Law of the CVM University. And by itself, you have already got three disciplines where interdisciplinary learning will happen. Our aim is also to take inputs from the various other disciplines that we offer at the CVM University to give you a very, very wide perspective, a very broad perspective of learning so that you can decide on what exactly would you like to do as you go ahead in your professional career. The MBA programs, why lose when you can win? There's so many opportunities available that if you aim the right way and if you take the correct perspective, there is no reason why you cannot win. And that is why the first sentence is evolution. Evolution is the key. You cannot solve the problems that you created with your current level of knowledge and understanding. And therefore, new knowledge and understanding has to evolve if you want to actually solve the problems which you created. And that is where I mean that evolution is the key. Another important aspect for good MBA programs is a very, very well defined vision and mission. Focus, focus, focus. Why? Because it is very important to know where you want to go. Otherwise, you will end up wherever. And therefore, right at the day one, we will start looking at opportunities for each and every participant of our program to try and understand his abilities, capabilities, strengths, areas of expertise. And all of that shall lead to identifying a focused potential for him as he goes through the 2 years of learning at this MBA program. Another important aspect of good management programs is a well defined business model. Everything is a business. Even a temple is a business. A museum is a business. A business is obviously a business. And that is where it is essential and necessary that there should be a strategic program orientation. We are elaborating on what we want to be, and we will be introducing this to the incoming batch, and we will take it forward from there. As I will elaborate as we go ahead, you will see that this is a evolving program. It will be continuously evolving to next levels and the next orbits as we progress through the semesters of the program. We also have a strong connect with the industry and society. Very, very fortunately, we are at the very, very central location of the state of Gujarat, which is becoming a very, very highly industrialized state in the western part of the country. And then there are no limits to communicating even elsewhere. Not only within the boundaries of the country, we are also aiming at international collaborations and engagements, not only with the institutions and universities, but also directly with the industry and businesses abroad. Fortunately, in my past experience, I have had those opportunities where I was directly able to take my students to meet with industries and businesses abroad. So I am sure we can achieve that. I am sure we can do that. Another important aspect of good management schools is modernization, technology, and innovation. Everything is evolving. Every industry is evolving. Technology is evolving. Societies are evolving. People are evolving. How can we not evolve? And that is where a perspective of innovation is what I plan to bring in to this program. We will try and bring in the latest technologies and make our teaching learning methods as modern as we can. And here again, I will mention the new education policy, which provides a lot of recommendations for the same. I will keep repeating this because it's a very important part of the overall presentation. The next important aspect is expertise and exposure, both internal and external. No system is complete in itself. A system has to be symbiotic with the environment in which it is operating. And that is where, of course, we will have expert faculty members. We will also be inviting a lot of external faculty members, industry people, professionals, business people to come and interact with you, not as a one off lecture, but as a serious teaching learning approach. There are so many methodologies now becoming viable and possible, especially with the technology support, that it is not necessary to be there in person. We can have online sessions from anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. So we will be using both our internal resources as well as external resources to offer you the best possible learning opportunities in the world. And then, of course, we talk about capacity, capability, and beyond. We will want you to work to your capacity, enhance your capabilities, and think beyond what you can possibly do. That is the focus of this program. It is going to be a you-centric program so that we are able to assess your capacities, see where all the capabilities need to be enhanced and taken to the next level so that you become capable of contributing beyond your current abilities and capabilities. So, with this, let me tell you what is the need of the day. Today is the day of the future. You cannot continue thinking about the contemporary. You have to think about the next, the tomorrow. There are so many quotients that we have been learning about. It all started with intelligence quotient, and then we had the emotional quotient, and then we have spiritual quotient, and all of that put together. Multiple quotients are there. They have their own meanings and they have their own relevance. But what I would want you to understand is that yours should be a future quotient. Where in the future will you fit and contribute to the best is what we will try to identify and see to it that you are mentored towards that. The new age industry orientation is going to be very, very essential and necessary. That is what I call as imagining the beyond. Today, the industry has evolved to a certain level. Every day, we come to know about new innovations that keep on happening. And therefore, while you are here for the next 2 years, you will have to extrapolate the evolutions that keep on happening, and there are methodologies available to understand those evolutions. And that is where we will start preparing you for the 2 years hence kind of the industry environment so that when you go out, you are totally ready for the industry. There are a lot of opportunities of innovative teaching and learning mechanisms. We will want to relate to most of them. We have resources, we have connections where we will be able to bring in the best of the teachers and the best of the methods for innovative learning pedagogies. And then, of course, already mentioned higher academia industry integration. We plan day one of industry interaction. The moment your program starts, you will be interacting with the industry and the businesses from day one itself. And it doesn't need that they have to come and tell you this and that. What we have to do is go ahead and engage ourselves with them rather than waiting for them to come and engage with us. So we will have to have a very, very proactive approach to interact with the industry and the businesses in the neighborhood as well as far distances. Global perspectives is the need of the day. We are a globalized country. No economy today is out of globalization. The chaiwala at the corner street is also facing competition from global brands. For example, the chai option is one to freshen up, but then he is to compete with the Coca-Colas of the world. And that is where I believe we need to understand that we have to have a world view of anything and everything that we undertake to do. And then finally, yes, only excellence will come. You will always have to put forward your best foot because the world around you is excelling on so many fronts. And unless you also excel, you will be lost out in the milieu. And that is where our faculty members will continuously strive towards helping you how to excel. So, this is the need of the day, which we understand, which we appreciate, and which we plan to deliver to. Moving ahead, there are certain favorables that I would like to talk about. For example, this is an excellent timing to start a new program. India is at the cusp of accelerated growth across industry sectors. Everywhere we are able to observe growth and development. Now, when I say growth and development, I look at it from two perspectives. One is the expansion part of it. One is the expansion part of it, and the other is the evolution part of it. What do I mean by that? Strong industry growth, meaning to say whatever they are doing, they are increasing it in volumes, in value, right? But at the same time, they are also evolving, meaning to say bringing in new products, new services, new ways of doing processes. Everything is growing, evolving. And that is where we people are starting this new program. And because we are starting a new program, we do not want to bring forward any baggage from the past. And we will try and bring in the most modern ways of looking at how to contribute to the industry and business where you will end up joining, or maybe creating organizations as you pass up from here. Another important facet, which I already mentioned to you, is the new education policy 2020. Fortunately, I was in Gurgaon, NCR, when the draft new education policy was being discussed across all academic circles. And I was lucky enough to participate in several discussions and seminars and have been able to firsthand understand the recommendations and logic of the new education policy. I plan to bring in, along with my faculty colleagues, the best possible recommendations of the new education policy so that my students get one of the finest possible experience of learning. Another very, very important factor which I want to talk about is the Gen Z as the target audience. It's you people. The generation that we are now addressing is a very, very different kind of people. Their motivations are different, their needs are different, their environments are different. Unless and until we understand these perspectives, we will not be able to relate to them in the most advisable manner, in the most rigorous manner. Fortunately, again, being a faculty of marketing and consumer behavior, I have had a lot of opportunities to study the different generations that we have seen in the last 50, 60 years. And I do understand that, yes, it will require a lots of efforts on the part of my faculty colleagues to be able to meaningfully relate to this new generation of learners. But I promise that we will do it. And then, of course, another favorable is the focus on digitalization, corporate and international finance, innovation, and entrepreneurship. I believe today in any of the disciplines of management, digitalization is a must. Especially, we are all so much aware of digital marketing and the plethora of options available under the domain of marketing through the digital technologies. In the finance sector, we locate a specific point of perspective of corporate and international finance because the India corporate is growing and growing rapidly, and it is growing globally. And that is where it is not just the corporate finance, but also the international financial perspectives that we will want to address. I have been observing the evolution of the gift city at Gandhinagar from the day of its inception and inauguration. I've been fortunate enough to have people there who have been very positive to me and have been updating me with the different kinds of developments. Friends tell you it is a technological miracle that has happened at Gandhinagar. I will make it a point that we visit there and have a first-hand experience of what this gift city is all about, and many more others. Another important area is innovation and entrepreneurship. Lots of things are happening around the world, and unless and until you are able to give the next level of service or product through a very intelligently thought through innovation, you cannot start a new enterprise. You have to identify the gaps that exist in the market, create a product or service that will fill up that gap. And if you have identified the gap very well, there are methods available for that. You will be able to start up your own and start contributing to the Indian economy to the Indian GDP very, very fast. Okay. So what are some of the initiatives we are going to take? There will be two levels of mentoring, first of all. Faculty mentoring by very senior people in the academics as well as in the industry and business. They will mentor the faculty members. And then this faculty members will mentor the students. We will have a strong body and a philosophy of mentoring for the students. Each and every individual student will be mentored. And wherever essential and required, there will be a direct connect with the senior mentors also, so that the students are able to understand their capabilities and abilities to the best possible level. The next important initiative we are going to take is innovation orientation. Day in, day out, I'm going to ask each one of you to think of the next thing that you could possibly do. जो कल हो गया वो हो गया, आगे क्या करना है, should always be the orientation that we will have. And we will always want to do new things in newer ways. That's what I mean by innovation orientation. We are making this largely a residential program for collaborative learning. It has been observed nationally and internationally that those institutions which operate 24/7, they bring out the best possible manpower with the most elaborate understanding of the needs of the industry. And learning does not happen as an individual. Today's learning happens in a collaborative manner. And that is where we are looking at team learning opportunities, group learning opportunities, projects, and so on and so forth. And that is where it becomes necessary that we should have, as much as possible, a residential program for which my management has already planned out a hostel both for the boys as well as the ladies of the program. Ample opportunities are there for facilitating your very comfortable stay within Vallavidanagar, one of the greenest academic centers of Western India. We also plan to provide you a lot of exposure through projects and ethnographic immersions. We will want you to go out into the communities and live with them, understand them, experience them, so that you understand what makes them tick, what makes them function, what motivates them. And that is possible only through first-hand ethnographic immersions where you live with them, you understand them, and try to make meanings of everything that they do. Nothing in the world happens without a meaning. It's the question of being able to identify and understand those meanings so that you can bring those logics into your professional career as you go ahead. Another very important aspect we are looking at is self-learning methodologies for add-ons. Today, no syllabus is complete in itself. Coursera's of the world, even Harvard University is offering you free courses for learning. So add-ons is what we are going to focus on. And we have mechanisms to see to it that this add-ons become very much a part of your credits. Nothing that you learn here will not be accounted for. Everything that you learn from whichever source you learn, we will see to it that it is incorporated in your credit ranking. And that adds a lot of value of very, very specialized learning and knowledge. And then, of course, team learning and knowledge transfer is another area we will be focusing on. Team learning so that very specific learning can happen on very, very pinpointed aspects of learning. And when these teams make presentations to the larger class, a lot of knowledge transfer will keep on happening across all the members of the class. And that is another domain where we expect that we will be spending a lot of time on campus as well as off campus so that multiplicity of knowledge transfers keep on happening amongst the various participants of the program. Another very important domain which I personally have seen as a very relevant and important area is cause leadership. Today's graduates need to be conscious about what goes on around them. And that is where we will want that you people pick up specific causes towards which you will define and design methodologies of enhancing the livelihood of the people within the specific cause that we could be talking about. And there are so many social and cultural aspects that can be taken up. For example, heritage is one of them. Uh, we have a very, very strong legacy of heritage, but unfortunately, it is a lost cause. And that is where I believe that one of them, there are so many others, health is another, right? Social integration is one more. There are so many causes that can be taken up. And I will want my participants to take up cause leadership to be able to contribute to the community in which they operate. Finally, yes, a promise. Play hard, work harder, and more importantly, blend the two together. So your play should be a part of your work, and your work should be a part of your play. We blend it together so that you have the best of both the worlds, playing and working together. So we will create mechanisms of learning where while you play, you learn, and while you learn, you are able to play also. Gamification is something that the new generation understands very, very well. We will bring in as much of gamification as possible, both digitalized as well as physical gamification for learning concepts, theories, and various aspects of processes and systems that integrate what is today's business and industry. So, why this MBA program? First thing is that yes, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk long, walk together. Once again, reinforcing the idea of group learning, composite learning, right? And that is why this program. We will try to create facilities where you can all be together for as many number of hours as possible. I'm looking not immediately, but down the line, a 24/7 kind of a campus, a 24/7 library, and so on and so forth. Another important domain is the diversity of perspectives, ideologies, and principles. People coming with diverse backgrounds will bring in new perspectives to the same concepts. And it's this multiplicity of perspectives which are very, very important and relevant. People differ in ideologies, but a community has to evolve a common ideology. And therefore, how to integrate the multiplicity of ideologies that are presented by different people with different background is what's going to be very, very important for our program. And then, yes, there are principles, and principles are also evolving. And that is where it is necessary to understand the motivations for specific principles. Every principle has a logic, has a context. And therefore, if you understand the logic and context of the principle, you will be able to create new principles that are more relevant and contemporary. And then, of course, each graduate qualifies for himself. I'm not looking at qualifying you for a position in the market. I'm not looking at qualifying you for a profile in the business world. I'm looking at qualifying you for what is your worth, what you are capable of, what best can you contribute is going to be the focus of this program. And that is where we will want you to make the most of the opportunity that we are going to present to you. Because if you are able to do that, you will be able to make your word count. Whatever you say will be listened to. Whatever you say will be respected, provided you have qualified yourself and understood the various perspectives, ideologies, and principles together. And then when you say something, people will listen. So join in to create a harmonious, symbiotic ecosystem. Be a part of it. We promise you an environment, an ecosystem, and a culture of harmonious learning. Learning in teams, learning in groups, learning of the next level. Looking forward to being with you very soon. Thanking you for joining. I did not want to make this a very elaborate presentation. Questions from you, please. Looking forward to respond to your queries and questions if you'd like to ask something. Thank you. We have my colleague looking at the chat where if you have put up some questions, he can pass them on to me and we will be able to respond to those questions. Yes, Arpita ma'am, if there are any questions that are coming into the chat box, let us respond to them. Okay. Arpita ma'am tells me that it seems that there are no questions in the chat. And let me presume that whatever I had to say has been said very unequivocally and has been understood by the participants of this webinar. We are open to various questions and any clarifications all the time. You have access to our phone numbers, you have access to our website. You can also directly address emails to us, and we will look forward to responding to your various queries. And in case of any doubt, the most important invitation is to visit us and help us define a fabulous program for your wards and for your students. Looking forward to welcoming you on campus at your earliest. Thank you so much. With this, I sign off. Thank you again.